Mic check, man. More the Masters podcast. Your host, mate. Of course, I'm back with another Thinking Out Loud, man. First and foremost, I want to thank all the supported listeners, people who follow the podcast, been sharing the podcast, all the emails I've been getting for requests to be on the podcast. It's the time of the year where I kind of start being very selective, and I try to end with a bang most times. Shout out to everybody that's been hitting me up, emailing me, hitting me up as far as wanting certain people on. So shout out to the audience, the listeners who give me good feedback of good a list of guests to have on. So I'm gonna try to bring a lot of those to fruition if possible. So definitely, man, shout out to everybody that's been supporting the podcast. Like I said, man, it's one of the most it's one of the best things going on in life right now is when I get an email about the podcast, and it's not about coming on. It's just about what they like about the podcast, or ways I can improve the podcast. So I definitely always want to start out any Thinking Out Loud I do with recognizing the audience and the listeners and the viewership, because at the end of the day, you guys play a big part in the success of More Than a Master. So definitely, shout out to y'all. I want to definitely give a shout out to Tommy Archer as well. Shout out to him. And him and Slim did a podcast last week. Spoke some very, very, very kind words about me. I meant to post it on my story. I might still do it. I screen recorded it. About 3 to 5 minutes of just them, speaking on me and the type of person they deem me to be. And like I said, the words were very kind, and I appreciated it a lot. Like I said, it's funny. I'm about to talk about words in a minute, but words matter. Words be heavy sometimes. And it's always sometimes it's not about what's being said, but who's saying it. And then sometimes it is what's being said, but a lot of times is what's being said weighs more because of who's saying it. It's like, damn, you think that of me? That's dope. You know what I'm saying? For you to think that of me, because based on what you think of that person or the caliber of person that person is. So definitely shout out to Slim and Tommy for their episode. And I think y'all go check that out, man. The Pilates podcast, man. Dope episode, dope podcast. I think also his podcast is very you never know which direction it's going because there's so many different segments to it. I think it often I'm not gonna say it confuses the guests, but it puts the guests in a position they've never been in before, as far as like you come in there and it's just Q&A, or you coming in it's just conversation, or you coming in it's just this. It's kind of like he got it set up to where you may learn different things about a person because there's so many different segments that convey different messages. So shout out to Tommy for that, man. Dope guy, dope individual. And shout out to Slim, of course, my guy. So I'll start, man. Just, you speak about words, right? And, you have conversations with people, whether they're serious, joking, something supposed to be informative, something that sets you straight, whatever it is, you set the tone for those conversations, right? And one thing I found, at least for me, is I get a lot of flack. I get a lot of flack when I'm having a conversation with somebody and I don't have anything to say, or I want to end the conversation. I'm not speaking anymore, right? And part of the reason why I do that is because at a very early age, I realized how much words do matter. And I hope I'm not blocking my face. I realized how much words do matter. And I never want to rather say something that I don't mean, or say something so hurtful, because once you say those words, you can't take them back. Like, once you call somebody a name, you can't take that back. You can apologize, right? But they can't unhear what you said unless they just wasn't listening in the first place. But, chances are they can't unhear what you said. They can't unfeel how they felt when you said what you said. And me knowing that, I always felt like when I tell somebody something, when I say something to somebody, I want it to be what I really feel. So if I get upset, I try not to speak. Because when you upset, like I said, there's power in the tongue. And when you get upset, you say things that you don't really mean. But the reality of it is, whether you really mean them or not is very minuscule on how somebody feels about what you said. So you could not mean it all you want, but you said it, and I felt it. But you said it, and I didn't know you didn't mean it. But you said it in a time where I felt like the conversation was so serious that you had to mean what you said. But you said it, and because of the situation I'm in, I'm now going to take this for face value because I've taken everything you said. I've taken everything you said at face value, and I now want to, be consistent in my approach to you. And everything you said so far, you've always meant. So you must mean this, right? And once you start to look at life that way and have that perspective on things, you start to realize how powerful your words are, even in the midst of an argument, even in the midst of a uncomfortable conversation, even in the midst of personal attacks towards you. Like even then, speaking just for myself quickly, like I've been told, like when I'm upset, I'm hard to read because I'm still too calm, almost to the point where, I mean, this is just a joke. I don't think anybody really mean this, but like almost to the point where like you ever see like, Jason and like he don't make noise. It's just like comparing stuff to Jason kind of crazy. That's kind of wild. I should chill. But yeah, it's one of the points where like I don't get overly aggressive. I'm not loud. I may be intimidating just because I'm upset. So yes, I'm gonna probably be intimidating. I'm gonna come off as intimidating, but I'm also not saying a lot of things. I'm not being your average angry man, angry black man, angry person. I'm not calling you out your name. I'm not doing personal attacks on you. I'm not out my body even. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in the present. I'm in the moment, but I'm watching what I'm saying, and I'm gonna get my point across with using my words. But I'm not going to harm you with those words. And everybody don't possess that. I don't think everybody possesses the emotional intelligence, the wherewithal, the poise, to address situations without, personally attacking someone with their words. Even things you say that you don't mean or you don't know they can come off as a certain way. So I've always been told that. So I know for me, like I'm pretty decent, at that in that genre of speaking. So this all derives from, even having a conversation. I won't put no information out, but having a conversation and hearing certain things, right, from certain people, it's like, damn, that's how you feel. Or it's like, damn, I wouldn't never said that way to you. Not that I wouldn't have said it. I wouldn't have said it that way to you. And that's when you start to think about not just the words, but the person the words is coming from, or the person the words are coming from, because that matters a lot. Somebody you got the utmost respect for, like somebody who words you value. They say something and it stick with you and it hurts you or it cuts you. Though that hurts a little more than just your average person in Dollar General or in a dollar store say something to you like, I don't know that person, I don't care. But it's like, damn, you said that to me? No, you said that to me. Damn. Like, that's a different kind of hurt. It's a saying when you're younger, and I think we're taught when we're young a lot of misinformation, but it's the saying of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. And, I feel like that can't be further from the truth. In fact, I would argue that in a lot of cases, words hurt more. I can for sure tell you they hurt longer. I can for sure tell you that you will feel that hurt more often. You get hit with a stick or a stone gonna be hard. I'm not gonna lie. Stones is kind of crazy. Right? Hit with a stone, but you get hit with a stick. You know what I'm saying? You'll feel it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if every day you wake up or 5 years from that point in your life or 10 days or every so often, if you'll still feel that pain you felt when you got hit with that stick at that moment, right? It's just something that passes and you got over it. You're like, oh, it did hurt that day, but whatever. But words, when words hurt you, it's a continuous hurt. It's like it's like a never-ending hurt to a fault. Especially depending on the words that's being said. If it's something short, if it's like a slogan or something you may hear again. You might hear it in a song. You might hear it in a movie. You might hear it in a show. You might hear it in at the dollar store. You might hear it through somebody else arguing. It's like every time you hear it, you relive it, you re-feel it, like, and it hurts even more. You know, like you could be in a great mood and you have that memory of this being said to you, and you're like, damn, like you just, you know, the right or wrong words from the right or wrong person will have you like slip into a deep depression in life, you know, like, because it's a never ending thought. It's like you never know when that memory gonna pop up. You never know when you're gonna feel how you felt when those words were said to you, when they were said to you. So words definitely hurt, you know. And if they don't hurt more than sticks and stones, they definitely have a more outlasting version of pain than you getting hit with a stick or a stone. You know, you hear people saying, "Oh, how did it feel when you get shot?" "Oh, it burned, it hurt it." You know, and not to say they never can't feel it again. You know, I wouldn't know, but you know, people gonna know how they felt when you said something to them. They're gonna know how it. You know, somebody's saying something to you. It's like sometimes yourself, your sense of self, your soul, whatever, like can just leave the room, and you remember that feeling. You remember, like you're gonna remember when somebody made you feel low, even with their words, just made you feel super low. You know, words feel good. Like, somebody can make you feel super high. You know, like words are that important to the fact that, you know, they can play a part, whether it be in your ascension or in your demise. You know, like depending on, you know, what's being said and what messages is being said to you and where you at in life. That's another thing. Like a stick gonna hurt regardless. It's a stick. Oh, you hit me with it. Damn, you know, it hurts. You know, a stone gonna hurt regardless. Oh, you hit me with a stone, it hurts. Like that's just common sense. Words, depending on where you at in life and where your mind is at and where you at as a person and what you're able to withstand when it comes to somebody speaking wise, it may hit different. It may hurt more. Like you just never know. Like it may be the thing that put you down, you know, depending on where you at in life. So I definitely think that it is in my situation when I was thinking about this. I've been thinking about this for a while now, maybe like a week and a half, something like that. And I've been thinking about words and just the things we say and to whom we say them to. Now, I'm not saying you gotta, you know, dance around stuff and don't be straightforward, because some people are just blunt people. But it's the thing. If you know you're dealing with a blunt person, sometimes those words are hard to measure because you're like, you know what, they just blunt. This is what they really mean. Or they just blunt. They mean this, but they gotta say it this way because that's just them. You know, but there's certain words, there's certain phrases, there's certain things that you're gonna hear from certain people, and you're like, damn, that ain't even you to say that. So like how long you been thinking this? Like you start to like, you can really put yourself at a very, very disadvantage, health wise, mental wise, just by questioning the why, the who, the what's, the where, the why, all of that about, you know, what was being said. Like why they say it this way? Like how long they been holding this in? You know, like what does that even mean when they say that? And it take a lot. I know for me, when like what I'm going through, what I said, where this comes from is like, because I'm a poised person, if I get words that hurt me, if I get a message that hurt me, like I don't receive it, maybe the way the person meant it, I don't know. But when somebody's saying something to me that they don't normally talk like that to me, and they decide that I'm going to talk like this to you as well, you know, it's not hard, but it's one of them things where you sit back and you're like, okay, well look, I'm gonna take it in. I'm gonna be strong, take it in. You know, F it. I'm gonna just feel how I feel, because I know I can respond this way. I can say some words back. Like we can have combat with these words. Like, and I might have some valid reasons of what I'm saying, some valid points into what I'm saying. But I feel like sometimes you got to sit back and just take it. Pause. That's crazy. Sometimes you got to sit back and just take it, right? But words hurt, man. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me is probably one of the first lies we're taught as kids. But I understand it's a mind thing. It's a mental thing. It's telling you to don't worry about what people say, just keep doing. But the thing is, when you're an adult and you grown now and we got past all the mind theatrics and we get past all the, you know, mental theatrics of how to build your mental, how to be strong, and you at a point in your life where you're vulnerable on all sides of the parameters in your life, whether it be the mental, whether it be the physical, whether it be, the emotional, regardless of anything, and you passed all that, and you in that vulnerable setting, words matter. Words definitely matter. Like, you can get to a point in life where everything matter, And speaking of words mattering, and I think that's why it's important, because sometimes people will hurt you with words and they don't mean to, but you can hurt somebody's words when you decide to. Because I want to play devil's advocate. When you decide to choose yourself, right? So you decide to choose yourself. Things you're saying now are coming from a standpoint of, I'm expressing myself, and this is how I feel, and I'm saying it with no regards to how you may feel about this. I'm telling you this because I have to express myself. I'm choosing myself, and I want to get rid of these thoughts. I want to have these thoughts out there in the ether so that you can understand how I feel, where I'm coming from. You may not be thinking about how the person is going to react to it. You might not be thinking about the wording. You might not be thinking about calling that person because you're choosing yourself at this point. And maybe for so long you've chosen to tiptoe around certain things, hoping they get the message. Maybe at this point you've chosen to, think about their feelings as to what you're going to say so that the message is landed a certain way. And maybe, it's failed. I don't know, right? But then you choose yourself and you be like, all right, cool. I'm just going to say it and oh well. Which ain't really a bad thing. Like, I don't want to sit here and make that like it's bad. And that's the thing about choosing yourself. Like, shout out to Donald Doe. He talks about how entrepreneurship, right? It's hard. It looks cool on paper. I'm an entrepreneur. I own this business. I do this. I do that. It's dope to say. It's amazing to say. It's enlightening to say. It's sexy to say, but it's not sexy. The process is not sexy. It's not sexy to do, right? Same thing. Choosing yourself, it sounds sexy, man. It sounds great. Like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, why wouldn't you choose that stuff? Clap it up, man. Choosing yourself. Clap it up for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Choosing yourself. Why wouldn't you, right? Why wouldn't you want to do that? But the reality of it is it's not sexy. Like, choosing yourself is hard. It's hard for some humans. I don't know for everybody, but if you got feelings, it's hard. It's hard to choose yourself when you are thinking of others. It's hard to choose yourself when you are known to be a considerate person. It's hard to choose yourself because even in choosing yourself, you're considering others. And that's not necessarily choosing yourself. So it's not sexy because there's a lot of things you got to do, a lot of decisions you got to make, a lot of adjustments you have to make, a lot of things you have to say that you're not going to like to say, a lot of adjustments you have to make you're not going to like to do, a lot of things you have to say you're not going to want to say to certain people. But because you're choosing yourself, you have to bite that bullet and go ahead and do it, right? It's a lot of barriers when it comes to choosing yourself because choosing yourself comes with guilt. You're going to feel a lot of guilt. And if you're somebody who've always kept other people in mind, if you're somebody who always helped other people, if you're somebody who always been there for other people, right? And not to say that people haven't been there for you, or maybe they have, who knows, I don't know. But if the ratio is just a little different, like you're more of a there for somebody person than they are there for you person, that adjustment can be very, very hard. So you create barriers because people will make you feel bad for choosing yourself. Like you got the person that's gonna play victim. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, go ahead and leave like everybody else did. It's like now you feel bad because you're choosing yourself, and you know this person done been through. You know this person like, the back of your hand. So now you're feeling bad because you chose yourself, but hell, people have been choosing themselves for this person all their life. What makes you any different? What makes you like have to be the person to stand in and withstand all of this, whether it's disrespect, whether it's, things you just don't like, or whether it's just having to not choose yourself. Like what's making you have to not choose yourself because other people have chosen not to choose themselves when dealing with X, Y, and Z. Even if it's not a person, it could be an entity, it could be a job, it can be a family member, a family function, a friendship, a group friendship, anything. But it's mainly relationships. We're talking about like just personal relationship, but it could be anything when you're choosing yourself. Like, I was about to say your car, but I would definitely, choose your car because cars are expensive. Definitely always choose the car. Like choose to matter of fact, choosing the car is definitely choosing yourself because you got to get from point A to point B, depending on where you live at. But yeah, choosing yourself is not sexy. It's not a sexy process. It's not a cute process. It's not nothing. It's cute to say. It ain't cute to do. That's just the reality of it. And like most things that have an impact on whether you're successful at something in life or whether you have a high success rate at something in life, the doing part isn't sexy at all, but the reward, it may be sexy. The saying of what you're doing may be sexy. It sounds sexy to say, "What you doing? Gotta go to practice today." Okay, that sounds cool. It's like it's dope. It's sexy. Like, oh, you going to practice? You going to work hard? You gotta, whatever. But practice ain't sexy. Nobody like practicing and sweating and going hard just to have a game. But then the reward is dope. You score 25 points that game. You win that game. You do good that game. You know what I'm saying? You go to work. It's not sexy to go to work. Oh, it's not sexy. You get that paycheck though. You love it. Bills get paid. People get fed. You're going to get that steak that you've been trying to get, for the last 10 days. So it just depends. Like a lot of things that come with a high success rate, aren't sexy. Choosing yourself, it comes with a high success rate of self-preservation. It comes with a high success rate of self-worth. Finding your self-worth, being in alignment with the things that you want to be in alignment with, as it relates to your goals, your needs, your wants, your future, rewriting, somewhat of your past, like, or correcting things that you've learned the wrong way. So, unlearning bad habits, learning new great habits, all of that, it comes with, it can be successful to do, but it's not sexy to do. Like, it's not. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of, I don't want to do that. It's a lot of, that's not me. Well, what they say, what I'm saying, to get somewhere you never been, you got to do some things you never did. I don't know if that's saying, that might be wrong. I'm sorry. That might be totally wrong. I don't know if that's saying or not. But, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is insanity. So we're going to just kind of, level that off with that. But yeah, man, I think that, words hurt, but at some point you got to choose yourself. And I use those two messages because of what I was talking about. I didn't want to come on here because I feel like it'd been too blunt. I didn't want to come on here and talk about that. I've been thinking about this for like 10 days. I didn't want to come on here and just talk about that as if like when words hurt, there's not a meaning behind it. Like when words hurt, it's not like the person that said the words is always have to be looked at as a villain or the bad guy. That person or entity or group or whatever that decided to, have these words hurt you or say these words that hurt you rather, because maybe they didn't decide to hurt you, but the words hurted you. They could be in the process of choosing themselves, right? And in choosing themselves, they could just be expressing themselves. And in expressing themselves, they just didn't have you in mind when they were saying what they were saying. And sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumble. Like it ain't no other way around it to sugarcoat the fact that there are going to be things said from people you love, from people you hold near and dear, from people that you regard on a high level. There are going to be things said to you sometimes and at some points in life, and they are going to hurt you. Those words are going to hurt you. The person saying these words may not mean for it to hurt you. They may not mean for it to hurt you. They may not have had you in mind when they rehearsed saying these words, that hurt you. But because they may be in the process of choosing themselves, that's just how the cookie crumbled. And ain't nothing you really can do about that. And you got to understand that as well. You have to be understanding of someone choosing themselves and think about their background, think about their track record, think about the things they've been through and could be going through. Because everybody going through something, right? So you think about that, and I think when you look at it in that way, instead of thinking about it in a victim role all the time, because you can still be a victim and still be understanding. You can be a victim and still be understanding. How many times you see it where, something happens, somebody does something to somebody or does a crime, whatever, and the family is like, hey, we don't want nothing to happen to this person. Like we fine, we understand. Victims, but they understand. I hate to use street stuff, but I was talking to the lawyer, shout out to Tiana, and she mentioned how, two friends went and robbed somebody. One got killed. So they charged a friend that survived with the murder. and the family was like, hey, we don't want him to be charged with this murder, right? I know it's very, very over the edge example, but what I'm saying is the family, the victims, but very understanding of the situation, right? They're not basking in that victim role. They understand they're victims, cool, but I also understand what happened and why it happened. And I'm not mad at this person for it. Maybe they mad, but just not mad enough to, stay in the victim role. They still alert enough to say, I see fault here and of why this happened. So I say it to say, like I said, words hurt. Sometimes they hurt because people choose themselves. And when people choose themselves, obviously it's about self. It's not about, another person being in mind. And it's not a bad thing. Choosing yourself is not a bad thing. Now, if you do it every single day for the last 18 years of life, it's kind of crazy. Like, we gotta relax at that point, you know what I'm saying? But as far as, being in a season of choosing yourself, like it's a season, like, yo, I've been doing this and this and this and this for like this long. I'm tired now. I want to just focus on myself. I want to focus on me. I want to focus on such and such. I want to focus on this. Nothing wrong with that, man. And nobody should make you feel bad for that. And I've been having these thoughts for like I said, 10 days. I've been trying to think of how I can approach how I felt. But even in that, and I probably could have chose myself at that point, right? But even in that, I was like, you know what? This is probably what's going on. I could be wrong too. I could be wrong. The words that hurt me could have just came from just a person just not caring. And that's not caring and choosing yourself are definitely two different things. No, they're synonymous, but they two different things. Words matter. And the reason why words matter, and it all goes into one. The reason why words matter is because just because words are synonymous don't mean they mean the exact same thing. They are alike in definition, but they don't always mean the exact same thing. And so, you might think, oh, well, you said, choose yourself. Yeah, I ain't say not care about nobody else. I just said choose yourself in this situation. Choose yourself in this decision. Choose yourself in how you're going to express this to this person. Choose yourself in that situation. It don't mean not care about other people. But sometimes in choosing yourself, you have to have a certain level of care for yourself versus someone else or versus another entity or versus whatever else you're up against. And that's what I mean by that. I don't necessarily mean, choose yourself don't mean, well, I'm picking me, so fuck you. Like that's not that's not what it means. So don't get so caught up in what I'm saying that you miss what I'm saying. And I ain't playing. But yeah, man, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there. I wanted to talk about peace and and I will end with that. I'm gonna end with that. We talk about a lot about, choosing peace and, wanting somebody to be our peace, right? And I saw something the other day and it made me think, and it was like, a lot of times, a lot of guys, a lot of women, whatever, or people, I don't want to make it gender-based. They say, oh, I want somebody to be my peace, be my peace, be my peace. And a lot of times, the reason why I think a lot of times people can't be someone's peace is because there's some level of uncertainty there. This could be a relationship, be a friendship, this could be family, this could be inside of a household, it could be at a job, this could be at the workplace, this could be outside at the store. I don't know. It's not always boyfriend, girlfriend, or spouse driven. It's not always that. It could be the home. But I say that to say a lot of times I think people can't get that peace that they desire from wherever they desire from because a lot of times people can't get that peace that they desire from wherever they desire it from is because it's a level of uncertainty there. And once it's a level of uncertainty, it's hard for that entity to be able to be that level of peace, to be peaceful, to be something that you would deem peace, because in that entity, whether it's a mind, whether it's a membrane, whatever is functioning, it's like, well, what am I? What are we? What do I mean to this person? Like, And it's hard to be peaceful to something you don't know where you stand at. You know, like you don't know your place. You don't know your value in that person's life or that entity's life. So I think we often want peace, but we're not setting things up to be able to gain peace from that entity. We're just saying something we want. And I don't think we even know what we're saying when we want peace. I think peace to some people is just shutting up. That ain't shutting up. You just want silence. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like at that point, you just want silence. You're not saying you want peace. But I ain't gonna break that down yet. But like, cause peace is like a whole different type of breakdown. At least for me, you know. But you may want somebody just to be quiet when you first come home, but you just want silence. That's not necessarily peace. You may want, you know, peace. I feel like it's like kind of making you whole. Like you may come home 75%. Maybe peace would be getting the other 25 and, you know, locking as one when you get home. You know, it's not necessarily, I think sometimes people think pieces are made. You know, I want the house clean. Peace is a chef. I want food when I get home. You know, peace is silence. I just want things to be quiet. You know, peace is, I want somebody just to pounce on tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not really peace. So I think when people say that they want peace from somebody, you really gotta be very, very detailed in what you want and what peace may look like for you. Because sometimes what you think peace look like is not peace. It's just you want a robot. You want something that's it's not that it's unattainable. But when you're dealing with humans, you have to be reasonable. Because just like you want peace, other people also want peace and they want certainty. You know, I don't think there's no peace without certainty. So I think when entities, couples, whatever, start to feel like there's no certainty there, or they feeling lost within, you start to lose that peace, because now when you get off, you get home or whatever, it's a bunch of questions. It's asking this, it's asking that. It's uncomfortable conversation, because that's where you get your certainty from. You know, the outcome of these uncomfortable conversations, the outcome of these questions, the outcome of, you know, that kind of conversation. And it may be when you get off work. It may be early in the morning. It may be 12 o'clock at night. It may be 2 in the morning. Maybe 6 in the morning. And you don't get that when there's certainty there. You don't get that. You don't have to have those uncomfortable conversations, because the person is so certain. But like I said, that's my spiel. I'll probably dig into that a little more at another time. But yeah, definitely, if you want peace, you got to definitely, like, you know, be very detailed and wordy with what peace means to you and what it look like to you, because you may find that that's not peace at all. That's just you want somebody who's going to sit there and shut up. And you can find that. You know, you can find that somewhere, probably, you know. It won't be in women too much, but you definitely find it somewhere. Somebody might like you enough to just sit there and shut up. You know, you never know. For how long, I don't know. But, you know, and they'll do it. But somebody will do it if they're certain in where they stand in your life, probably. But without that certainty, you won't never get that kind of peace you're looking for. But that's not even peace anyways. Peace is something totally different than what people may make it seem. Sometimes people just want somebody who's going to sit there, shut up, cook, let me pounce on them, and maybe hold them through the night and leave them alone all day. And that is not peace. But that's neither here nor there. I'm going to end it there, man. You know, another Thinking Out Loud, real quick. I want to just touch base and give my audience and something to watch. So hopefully y'all comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share it on Facebook. Tell me what clips you like. Maybe I make a clip up, whatever. I don't know. But also, if you can, in the comments, tell me what peace is to you. Tell me what choose yourself means to you. Tell me, do words hurt more than sticks and stones? Like, tell me what you think of some of the things I'm saying. Even if you disagree, I just want to know what's your thoughts, because I want to make sure I'm not out here alone feeling this way and having these thoughts. So, More Than Masters podcast be out. I'm going to end with that drop for my daughters.
Welcome to the More Than Masters podcast, brought by Brooke
and Bailey.
Brett.
Bradley.